Hi, I'm Gregory Iron, independent professional wrestler who also has cerebral palsy. And while I do have a little bit of notoriety, my pals in the business have more notoriety because they're toys and I'm not. You might say that my friends are figures, action figures, that is. And today I'm going to look at some of my friends that are action figures. Sean Flash Robbins, could I get the next figure, please? Oh boy. Part man, part machine. We're talking about the guy who's got to get his shit in at all times, Brian Cage. I probably had my most favorite and potentially, if we're going on YouTube views, infamous moment with Brian Cage. I worked with him once at AAW in Chicago. It was part of a tournament. I was not officially in the tournament. Brian Cage was. I interrupted him after he made his way to the ring. And I guess I should preface by saying that I wasn't originally supposed to wrestle Brian on this show or even interact with him. In fact, the promoter, Danny Daniels, went to unbook me for the show one night before I was supposed to be on it. This was not the first time that Danny unbooked me for the show, and so I kind of stood my ground. I said, hey, you can't just unbook me the day before. We agreed to this. You know, you said anytime AAW has a show, I'm booked. You can't just, have me ignore other bookings and then cancel me one day before your bookings. So, begrudgingly, Danny agreed to put me on the show. Originally, I was told I was wrestling Heidi Lovelace, which, of course, now is Ruby Soho, and in WWE was Ruby Riott. So I drove 5 hours to Chicago, planning a match in my head with Heidi Lovelace. When I got there, Danny told me that he had changed his mind and I was wrestling Brian Cage. Brian, who I only had met once before this. And I just kind of thought to myself, is he putting me with Brian Cage so that he can just beat the crap out of me? Because I have no doubt that Brian Cage, who's gigantic, could pummel me severely and tragically end my life. So I got to thinking that maybe this might be a setup of some sort. Despite this, I was told that I had a promo with Brian and I had to be a heel. So I had to, much like Brian does in the ring, get my shit in the promo. So I'm thinking, what do I say about Brian Cage in this promo? Just going on a limb here, and I'm not making any accusations. But Brian has the type of body that one might believe is enhanced by the use of anabolic steroids. So I started to think, what could I say about anabolic steroids that could be funny? And so I started thinking anabolic, steroids, juicing, and then it hit me. The week prior, a longtime local indie fan by the name of Justin Summers had given me the Ghostbusters Ecto Cooler High C. It had recently been re-released, and I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, and so as a gift, he brought a package of these to a show that I was on. I had forgotten to take that juice out of my car, and then I had my idea. So I walk up to Brian Cage, who, again, I've only met once, and I said, hey, I got this idea for a promo. What do you think if I said this? And then he said, surprisingly, I love it. Say that. So I go to my car. I grab the juice boxes. I come to the ring for the promo. Now, I don't tell him the exact verbiage of what I'm going to say. And I said a lot of stuff. But the culmination of this promo, the real big line at the end here, after I basically tell him to lay down for me and just forfeit his opportunity in the tournament and let me advance, I say,
very rude of me. I should have brought out a juice box for you. But I mean, by the looks of it, you've got enough juice in you to last a lifetime.
Wow. And so when I say I just figured you had enough juice in you to last you a lifetime, the crowd reacted in such a way to where it wasn't just a, oh, it was like, oh God, like, that's what we would like you to say, but we didn't think you were going to say it. Like, it was shocking to the crowd. Brian then proceeded to hit me with a roaring clothesline. Now, I want to point something out here, okay? He was told that he was only supposed to do one move to me. So in the back, I said to Brian, yeah, Danny said, you hit me with one move when I'm out, so what do you want that one move to be? And he said, maybe I'll just hit you with a discus clothesline. So I said, okay, cool. And I go to walk away, and he goes, and maybe, okay. He goes, maybe I'll also hit you with a power bomb. I said, okay, so spinning clothesline and a power bomb. That's cool. All right, I'm gonna. Oh, also, okay, I'll probably hit you with three power bombs if that's okay. I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay, so spinning clothesline and 3 power bombs. All right. Oh, also, okay. I'll probably follow that up with an F5. Okay, I'm thinking in my head, this is a lot of moves. But, again, Brian's got to get his shit in. So I go, okay, so spinning clothesline, 3 power bombs, and an F5. Okay. And one more thing. Yes. Yes, Brian Cage. I'll probably end it with a Steiner screwdriver. And I go, is that it? Nothing else? He thought about it and he goes, no, I think that's good. Yeah, it's more than good, Brian. So I was great with everything up until the Steiner screwdriver. Have you ever seen the Steiner screwdriver? Sean, edit in a clip of the Steiner screwdriver, please.
Up, letting that blood rush the kind of aggression. It was rage and chaos of high voltage.
It's a scary move. And at the time, the girl that I was dating, I had been making jokes, as this was right before my 30th birthday, saying that I was somehow going to die before I was 30. This was the moment that I thought I was going to die from. I literally, in preparation for this segment, was in the back just looking at Scott Steiner doing the Steiner screwdriver on YouTube, thinking, these are the final moments of my life. This man is going to break my goddamn neck. So, to go back to the roaring clothesline, he hits me with that. He hits me with 3 power bombs, which, if you look at the footage, usually when a guy power bombs you, you want to tuck your chin. I tucked my whole body because I could feel the power that was the machine, Brian Cage. And I knew if I didn't tuck my body, I would land on my head and I would be concussed for sure. So somehow I survived the power bombs. And when you watch the footage, it somehow defies physics and logic. He somehow just scoops me up from the 3rd power bomb and just spins me into the F5 position, like in one motion, and then just boom, F5 onto the mat. And so, he said before we walked to the curtain, the last second before his music hits, he says, hey, after that F5, if we don't need the Steiner screwdriver, I won't do it. So I thought to myself, I am going to oversell the shit out of that F5. I'm going to sell it like death so he does not touch me. So, of course, I just laid there motionless. And Brian, he picked up the juice box and he punted it in the crowd to a big pop. So he didn't do the Steiner screwdriver. And then I got drugged to the back and I did the Vince McMahon middle finger as I'm being drugged to the back. Like, oh, I'm not dead. And so Brian gets to the back and he goes, man, I thought you were knocked out for sure out there. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I was just selling. Bro, baby, we're good, man. And I'm just thinking to myself, nah, bro, I didn't want you to touch me with that goddamn Steiner screwdriver. Fast forward to a couple weeks later. I'm on a show with M-Dog20 Matt Cross. I'm telling Matt about my experience with Brian because he had worked with Brian in Lucha Underground. And I said, man, the segment went great. He said, yeah, Brian told me about that segment. I was really pissed off. He thought he knocked you out. And I said, no, I was just overselling, so he didn't touch me for that Steiner screwdriver. After he hit me with that F5, I laid motionless. And he said, no, he didn't think he knocked you out after that. He thought he knocked you out after the clothesline. The first move that he did. So now I'm just shocked because I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. He thought I was knocked out on the clothesline and he still did 3 power bombs and an F5? That being said, I love Brian Cage. And I'm still here. I didn't die. And I'm so happy for all of his success. I'm so happy for all of his success. I can't even fucking say this.
Because you're lying.
I'm so happy for all of his success in AEW. And that is the God honest truth. Do you have some favorite figures? Are any of your friends figures? Comment below, and if you want to hear more stories like this, check the archives, subscribe to the Iron on Wrestling channel, go over to patreon.com/Iron on Wrestling for bonus videos, and let me know what you want to see from this channel. I'm an independent pro wrestler. I'm sure there's stuff you want to know, some secrets of the trade. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again real soon.